Get it rolling. Let's start this work session. Roll call, please.
Jennings,
Here.
Casanello,
Present.
Pater, Larson,
Here.
Schneider,
Here.
Ramirez,
Seat. No.
Vacancy. Not here.
Okay.
Okay, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, monthly financial report. Have any questions? You want to get a quick overview from Roberto?
Yes,
Might as
please.
well, since he's here. Take it away.
Good evening, Council.
You already said it. Good evening, Council. The report in front of you, pretty much nothing has changed from the last one, with the exceptions of some of the interest for the month of August. We have reconciled those, so those are in. I can tell you that next week, these numbers will change drastically when it comes to the meals, the TOT, and some of the communication revenues, as well as we have, the chief has finally completed the sale of the surplus vehicle, the Taurus. So there'll be additional funds there too, that we'll be looking, I guess with finance, we'll be discussing as to where we would apply the amended on his end.
Okay.
So that is up there right now.
All right. And we're also going to be booking the taxes next month, right?
So the taxes, I'm actually have began to work on that last week. So the report that you'll be seeing, we work on an accrual basis. So you'll see next week's report. You'll start seeing as we enter those numbers increase. So yeah, those you'll start seeing. We should have them. My goal is to always have them by the beginning of October. October 5th is the cutoff date to send them out. Give people that 2-month leeway of making the payment, but majority of them, it's all done through the mortgage lender. So that's something that they will discuss with them as well.
So I wasn't around this week, but we'll be meeting Wednesday on a liaison side, and we'll come back on Monday if there's anything that pops up, and we'll talk about it on Monday.
Yes,
So the influx of just payments are due, that's why we're going to see the influx and change, correct? Okay.
That's the
Correct.
big one. That's the big one, yeah.
yeah.
That'll put us right side up.
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, today just entering them, starting to enter them, we're already right side up. So back up about 100 and something thousand. So I mean, we're not complete. We're not done yet. So we're working on that right now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, remind me again, we're retiring our mortgages when? Is it this fall?
The debt obligation.
The debt obligation. So 2 of them have already been paid. If you were to look on the page 5 of the packet, we paid
what I
off 2 out of the 3.
Gotcha.
So we have 1 more debt that will go on to the beginning of the 2026 budget, because they're paid at the beginning, which is August, and then the next pay, which is the principal and interest, and then the just interest only is paid in February of every year. So this last one will be finished being paid in August of 26.
Okay, thank you.
So one of the things we'll talk about is amortizing it early, or do we continue with the plan the way it is for the next 2 years?
Yep.
Yeah, and just so you guys are.
Interest rates and stuff.
Yeah, so that was one of the things, even the past 2 years, I think we've been discussing this, but 2 years ago when we made that phone call with the bank, because we had such a great interest rate, it just didn't make sense. The savings wasn't,
Worth it?
worth it to do this. So
Thank you.
And how up to date are these numbs?
these are,
Everyone
so
see
these
a
these numbers are running from last week because the report was done last week, so it was as of last Tuesday.
Okay, so the drastic change will mainly be with the reconciliation of all the past dues that are coming in from,
So the main changes will be actually on the revenue side, which are, I can tell you now, are the TOT tax, the sales tax. We received our first one, which is, just so Councilman Pastrana knows, all of them are higher than expected, budget-wise. Meals tax, sales tax, consumer utility tax. Those are the ones that are gonna have a big change. And you'll see, since we're on accrual basis, you'll see the real estate current number start to increase as well. As we enter them in, they'll be up there. So yeah, you'll see a lot of revenues because they're coming in, just the timing. A lot of our taxes are due on the 20th of the month. A lot of our state taxes the sales tax for the most part we receive them between the 21st to the 30th of each month. And the sales tax is actually 2 months behind, so we're just receiving July's.
okay. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay, then we'll move on. Tax-free weekend.
So this tax-free weekend, it's something we've done every time for Haymarket Day. This is just something to show an appreciation for the people that are participating as well as our in-town businesses. We do a tax-free weekend, which means that there's no sales tax or meals tax collected for that weekend, for Saturday and Sunday of the event. We've done it every year. So it's just become a tradition as well when we do this event, since it's one of our bigger events that the whole town participates in.
Do you get, is our word loud enough? Because I think I saw some contradictions in that in previous years of some of the businesses that I've partook at, where they still charged me the meals tax.
You know, I have not heard an issue on it, but now that we have, with Rachel and Alexandra on board, we can make it once council agrees to it and votes on it next week. We'll go ahead and make sure we hit it on social media, put it out there, so make sure everyone's aware of it. We will have a business roundtable tomorrow too, so we can definitely let them know during the meeting as well.
We're mentioning tomorrow at our business roundtable meeting that it is a possibility, should it be approved on Monday night, the 2nd. What we can also do, because we'll have about 3 weeks after next Monday's meeting before Haymarket Day, we'll make a point to go to all those restaurants in person and share with them, give them the letter, give them a copy of the ordinance, make ourselves available if they have any questions on what they need to do on their part.
So I guess I did have a follow-up question to your point, is that logistically, is it hard for them to exempt the tax? I guess when they're setting up their systems, is it hard administratively to change collecting that tax or not? Just something, we don't have the answer today. I just wonder if that's maybe why some people don't do it. It's too much labor to turn it off.
To remove it in their system and not collect it, it could be easier for them to leave it and then possibly, on the back
And that's
end.
something that they wouldn't be able to answer since they
Yeah,
don't
I wouldn't be able
understand
to
the
answer
business's
because
machines.
I wouldn't be able to answer that, but I know that some systems work that it's tracked, the transaction is tracked by day. So if there's a tax collected, they know the exact number that's collected there, so they can essentially, in theory, know exactly how much they made on Saturday and Sunday, remove that from their amount, But again, we can't answer that because everyone has a different POS system as well.
They can't remove that from their amount there. That's a pass-through tax, and if they've already charged the customers, the
yep.
consumers, they need to give it back to us.
Yep.
Because we need to cycle it back out as a governing.
We don't, no. If the businesses, we kind of fell in this position a few months ago or a year ago, where a business incorrectly collected taxes, and they had to resolve that on their own, as far as giving that money back.
That was a double charge.
Yeah, but in this situation, we would do the same thing. This is something that's on the restaurants, on the business owner. As a town, we don't want to get involved in that. That is something that they would need to
Understood.
rectify.
Well, I think the issue is point of sale, right?
Yeah.
That's really the issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it wasn't, I think it's a great benefit. It's awesome to do, but maybe at the business roundtable, you can just ask, saying, hey, just for our information, is it difficult to not collect for those couple of days? Just some feedback. So,
Yeah.
but it's a great program.
I have
Thanks.
a couple of thoughts.
Yeah.
First of all, does it make a difference, right? Are residents and non-residents specifically coming on those 2 days to save whatever tax amount on their meals, right? Does it make a difference? Whether or not we exempt, not have them pay the meals tax on those 2 days, right? Another thing, I think it's it might create complexity, challenges for the stores, the businesses, right? As to Marchant's point. I understand this is something that we've been doing traditionally, right? But also, it might also work against us, to be honest with you, because I think some customers don't pay attention to the fact that there is an added-on tax by doing business here, right, within the town. This highlights the fact that we do charge, there is an extra add-on cost to them, other than on those 2 days, right, when they come and do, but that's just my,
Yeah, but it's across the board. I mean, Prince William County's charging meals tax now, too. The difficult part here, though, is when you got the vendors who are renting space on the street, we got to make it fair across the board, and it's a lot easier for those vendors on the street to not have to charge it.
yes, for the vendors, it makes sense. For the brick and mortar, I don't know if it makes sense to me, to be honest with you, right? But I understand, you can't just tell, one business is brick and mortar, so you have to collect tax, and then the other vendors not to, but.
Isn't the county tax? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So to address that point, Councilman, is that in the past, I could agree with you. It is confusing in that issue, and we've had businesses gripe about the 4% meals tax that the town's always had. But with this current year, Prince William County has also included a meals tax now. So even if you were to buy the Chick-fil-A down the street to the Chick-fil-A here, you're paying the same price. The reason why this would, I guess the only benefit, the thought has always been because when we do events like this, a lot of times we're bringing in vendors, food vendors specifically, as meals tax, that do not, do business aside from just that, our Haymarket Day event, in a way to also show respect to the town businesses that actually yearly pay taxes on top of the 4% meals tax. So it's kind of a way to also include them on that fact, because we don't make those vendors collect the meals tax during our town events. Similar to the farmers market too. During that event, any participant there, are not required to collect a meals tax either. But if we wanted to implement it, it would be, I don't know how beneficial, I'm not sure how it would be taken for the vendors that are coming outside of town for a one-day event to pay that.
Okay, in terms of the meals tax, at some point it used to make a difference, right? Whether or not you go to fast food here, but now with the print, it's just evened out.
It's evened out.
Okay.
That's another reason why
Never
too
mind.
we have seen many businesses are willing to come into town now, because now even if they pay the tax there, if they set up shop across the line and here, they're still paying the same tax.
Okay, in that case, I want to.
So to your point, I think it's a fairness thing, which I appreciate you saying, fairness to those vendors that are not paying tax during the day, but I was going to make that point now. It used to be, I think Bob was the only one that really brought it up, was, my cigarette tax in the town. I go outside of town to buy cigarettes. But I think it was the reverse now, where it's actually an advantage for us to relieve it that day because we're less than the county's the same rate?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's, yeah.
And we also, a lot of our restaurants don't per se purchase a booth at Haymarket Day and participate as a vendor. We have a couple of them who do Swirlies, Parandos, Eugene's. But this is also a nice opportunity that maybe some of our guests who come in for Haymarket Day might choose to go sit at one of those restaurants and take a break from the day and then come back in. So we're encouraging, our visitors to also go see our restaurants.
So for those businesses that might have challenges with removing the taxes in their system for those 2 days, do they just collect the tax and then, they might also have customers in there and saying, hey, it's supposed to be tax-free, why are you charging me tax, right?
Yes, but I'll be honest with you, it's something the onus
Not
would
too
be on
many
the business,
residences
you know.
remember, realize that, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, for those that realize that, right?
We have, put it this way, we have never had a complaint from businesses when we do this. At least in the past 7 years that I've been here, I've never had a complaint. In fact, there's some that wish we would do it more often for certain events. But I have had no complaints on doing it, to that I could think of, that I could tell you that, would bring that up as well.
Okay.
I apologize, I started that rabbit hole, Roberto.
No, you're fine. No, it's fine.
I think I helped
Well, yeah,
contribute.
you started
I think I
it,
started
finished
it.
But it's a good question, good conversation.
Yeah, well, it's always a concern. It's one of those things where how do you police it once you, create this ordinance? And I always bitch about stuff like that. I mean, I'm just Mr. it'll never work type of attitude, so, and I do see problems with that in this. Just want to make sure that we're aware of it and we try to do our due diligence and our best if we do enforce this. Anybody have more questions? We got enough information to make that decision next week? Okay. We'll move on then. Christmas and holiday event.
Yes. So we are preparing for Haymarket Day, but also our Christmas and holiday event comes up very quickly right after. We're working on some of the decoration plans, as we know that this is one of the years we need to do a bigger investment in our decorations to continue with what we've done in years past. So some feedback we received over the last 2 years from the supplier of our Christmas tree. Premier Landscaping was always very generous and donated the tree to us. However, the last couple years it's been harder to find a tree of the size and magnitude that we like to put out in front of Town Hall. And also the cost of it is starting to become a bit burdensome, despite all of the environmental issues with cutting large trees like that down. So I have been looking with the team at an option to have a tree, an artificial tree that looks very realistic and is something that we can reuse over time each year. It's also an investment that we can make in the short term. It can be smaller, and each year we can add to it, so it's not set at a certain size. We have room to grow. So with that, I just wanted to let you all know, coming back from being on leave last week, we haven't been able to get all of the numbers pulled together. I can tell you it will be more than 10 grand. I can tell you that I am bringing you quotes next week to talk about this, so I want it on the agenda next week as well. I want to give you guys the full picture, the images, the pricing, the longevity, the maintenance and upkeep, the how you put it up, how you store it, where we plan to store it, all of those details. You'll get that in a report that's written out for Monday's night discussion. I'm happy to talk more about it with you over the course of this week if you have specific questions you want to know about. But we've been doing all that research. We're getting our numbers together. We're getting our information. We will bring it on Monday night. What it's looking like right now is I have 2 companies that have been able to give me good quotes on comparable products. I'm having a very hard time finding that third quote and that third company to provide us something that's comparable. So I will work with, I'll talk about it with Finance Committee this week. We'll bring you something Monday. But what I will recommend Monday night is a limit, a not to exceed amount. And then for us to take any quotes back to the Finance Committee and have the Finance Committee give an approval for that item in the not to exceed amount from council. I'm happy to get into more detail with council if you would like to go through it, but I do think that this is something Finance Committee could handle. We are talking about our options for funding, from tourism money to sponsorships and other event money, and how this is able to help us with our tourism this coming year and bring more people in for our Christmas event, but also our season. So again, that'll be part of the package Monday night.
Can TOT pay for that?
That was the tourism I was just referencing. So
Okay.
yeah, so we're hoping that we can, work on something. We're on the side, we're working on a little bit of a Christmas holiday campaign where we do nutcrackers with our businesses and get business sponsors and do kind of a, come check out Haymarket, come check out what we have. And so we're hoping to loop our tree into that and just make it a nice tourism effort all around. And then just a quick thing. These trees break down into 2-foot increments. And if you get up to 30 feet in one of the brands, it can all be put together with hand tools. And as you are building it, it makes scaffolding that 1 to 2 people can build it on their own. Up to a certain size. The other brand is up to about 25 feet, very similar. You only need hand tools and it creates scaffolding as you go. So they make some pretty cool products out there. They nest into each other, so we're not looking at huge storage room, but nonetheless, I'll bring you all the details Monday.
And you're probably already thinking this, but if you could also give us your concept of how you're going to roll this in, because besides
Absolutely.
this large tree, we usually do a couple of small trees around it and have the schools come out
Absolutely.
and decorate it. Are you going to make those artificial too? So go through that discussion within your packet, if you could.
Yes, I will try not to deep dive everything holiday next week, but we'll give you guys a good snapshot of what we would like to do. I know Tracy Lynn's been working very hard with me on a vision and an image to elevate this event and make it something really nice for our community and something that feels very hometown. So just some of the quick investments that we've made, we have purchased some tents so that we can make more of a German craft market feel for this coming year. So we're going to great lengths to make it feel like more of your hometown event. We will still keep the children's trees. That's very near and dear to us. We like to see that. We're also going to be rolling out a new program with our arts partners over at the museum where we're doing a handmade ornament contest and we're asking our residents to donate an ornament and make something for their town tree. So we have a lot of fun ideas, but we'll paint the picture on Monday night.
So I ran into Matt today, and hopefully he won't kick me, but he had mentioned we're replacing the wreaths with the garland.
We are. So we did a bit of an investment last fiscal year. And so our wreaths, as many of you know, because you helped us string them, their longevity was coming to an end. It was pretty rough. We were cutting lights off of them and haphazardly trying our best to restring them the best we could. So we've retired all of those. We are actually able to reuse them for our flower baskets. We're going to cut them up and have beautiful winter flower baskets with those. But we invested in pole wraps that are lighted pole wraps for 40 of our lights this year. We could not at this time afford to do all of them, all 85, 90 poles, so we started with 40. We're going to do every other. It'll have 2 bows at the top on either side, and then it wraps all the way down and around, and they'll each be lit.
And I was asking if you had enough money to do that, but it sounds like you already budgeted that.
So yeah, we did half. We're going to see how it looks. I think sometimes our street looks a little bit like a runway when it's winter and darker for longer, everything's lit up. So we're going to see how we like the 40. It might be perfectly spaced, so it's just a nice touch. We don't want to overdo it. With our flower baskets spaced in these 2 blocks, we'll also have that on every other pole. So Matt loves Christmas, and so he's enjoying coming up with some fun ideas, but we're also excited that we're able to reuse all of our wreath parts, and the garden club's helping us out with some ideas on what we can do to make it look nice.
So I did have a friend at my get-together yesterday that works for Lovettsville, and apparently they have switching subjects, the town owns a trailer that can hold 6 kegs, or 10 kegs for Oktoberfest.
Yes, they do Oktoberfest out there.
And so I was asked, was Haymarket considering purchasing a kegerator trailer, I guess? for Oktoberfest, and seemed very disappointed when I said, no, that's not in the budget.
That is not right now on our scope. We're going to start with our
I
Christmas tree.
think we're fine. Christmas tree is more important.
But we do have a couple breweries in town.
We do, but
If
apparently
they
the-
would like to ask our breweries to come out to Lovettsville, we'll share the information.
Exactly.
Well, if we followed the true Oktoberfest timeframe and started in September, maybe we could, but Haymarket Day falls in the October timeframe, so there's a little overlap. I think I'd rather highlight Haymarket Day.
Yes.
Just thought I'd share some community feedback that why did we not have a tree fair?
If I could share one little event thing, I know it doesn't quite fit in here and it's work session, but I just want to remind everybody our arts program is starting their opening day on Sunday, the 1st. And so they will be partnering with us on all of our events to include Christmas events. So if you want to check them out this Sunday.
Excellent. And they started the paint.
Finished the exterior and they're working on the shutters. Weather kind of closed them out for today.
Anything else?
No, that's all I think.
Okay, well, I got one more comment. Because you didn't have the opportunity or take the opportunity for a sales pitch. Please do the sales pitch. Tell us about our ornaments.
Yes, our ornaments for this year ordered in time. Hopefully they make it by Haymarket Day. They should ship on October 3rd. So fingers crossed on that one for me. But it is featuring Haymarket Baptist Church. So I worked with the partners over at Haymarket Baptist. They provided us a very nice historic write-up, brief but very nice. So that will be in there. It is of the building, how it looks today, but they also reference the year it was built, the original size of it. They have a great little historic book that they put together. So we'll have all that information at Haymarket Day once it comes in. We'll sell them at Haymarket Day, and then we'll sell them through the season. And then we also work with some of our local businesses right here in the area who have other retail kind of sales businesses, and they sell them in partnership with us as well. This will be our 6th, is that our 6th? Yes, it's our 6th ornament in the collection, so it's exciting. Started with the museum, and we're on building number 6. We haven't had to use the caboose yet.
Okay. Time to move on. We'll go to the council vacancy discussion. We'll start it off. Kim, if you could start us off.
Okay. We only have 25 minutes, right?
We've got 16 minutes.
Okay, 16 minutes. I can probably do it in 10. September 11th, we received a resignation letter from David Leake resigning from council, so that leaves his seat now open. I have given you, we put it out on Facebook. I've also put the ad in the paper, saying that we have a vacancy. You have 2 applications before you. I have been in contact with the registrar's office at Prince William County and our town attorney on the subject of a special election. We have had to have special elections. Mr. BNA's special election is coming up in November. And there was back and forth all week long with the registrar's office and the town attorney about special election requirements and dates. And at 5:26 this evening, I received an email from Mr. Simmons, our attorney, says, I have some good news. The town is not required to conduct a special election in 2024 if, 1, the council makes an interim appointment, and 2, the election at which the vacancy would be filled is scheduled in the year in which Leake's term expired, which is 2024. So therefore, the council makes the appointment, and I will have the court enter an order stating that no election is required pursuant to Virginia Code, Section 24.2-226C. So you do not have to have a special election. You can make your appointment. I don't know how long you want to keep the application process open. I don't know if you want to interview your 2 appointments, to your 2 applications that I can schedule a closed session at 6 o'clock next Monday invite them both in. They both are ready to come in and speak with you, and we can go from there.
But technically, I think we have until October 26th.
You have 45 days, so you have to make the appointment by October 26th.
So essentially, we have the council meeting and that's it. We don't meet again before the 26th, correct?
If you do not make an appointment next Monday and you want to keep the application process open, then you would have to have a special meeting in order to make the appointment.
Kim, can you just remind us what we have already scheduled for next week, just so we can talk about agenda time frame and length of meeting for a second?
Just what you have discussed tonight.
But don't we also have?
Oh, you have, yes,
got
I'm sorry.
candidates
No, it's
coming in.
okay. I just want to make everyone
During
aware.
citizens' time, you have the candidates coming in next Monday.
What's your list on that? Do you have a confirmation?
10.
10?
Oh,
And how much
excellent.
time are they each given?
3 minutes.
Okay.
Candidates.
Okay.
For,
All the candidates that are running for election in November, your Board of Supervisors, your state delegates, your state senators, your school board,
school board?
Those who have an impact on the
Do
town.
they have a time limit?
they have 3 minutes.
Just citizens' time.
I've spoken
The
to
3
a
minutes
couple.
in
Rules is
Okay,
citizens' time.
sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, I just wanted everyone
Yes, I'm sorry.
to know what's on our agenda so we can prepare if we need to hold a special meeting or anything.
We'll hold Ken responsible for making sure he reiterates
3
3-minute
minutes.
limit.
So who do we associate that effort with?
What's that?
Was that Bob that instigated that, or?
No, I did.
You did?
I did, yeah.
Thanks.
I thought it was appropriate because we don't see that too often. You know, we have a whole bunch of folks that are running for public office that most people in town probably aren't even aware of. So it's probably a good idea, at least to introduce
So we'll
themselves.
see how they organically separate in the gallery.
And the last time we had something like that, I think, was when you were in office previously. I know Satterwhite came out for the school board.
Yes. If they can make it, they'll be here. And that's great. That's great that you have 10
And your
people.
community spotlight person for Monday night is going to be the Kiwanis Club.
Yes.
Okay.
It could also be a great opportunity that we invite our 2 applicants for this open vacancy to come in and do a 3-minute, or however long they feel comfortable, not to exceed 3 minutes, but of why they might be interested in the position so that our citizens could also hear during citizens' time. I mean, the council can interview separately and,
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
we can interview in the closed session at 6. They can speak to the audience at
Certainly.
7:30.
Because those would be the citizens they're representing, so that might be a good idea as well.
And then we got to determine whether we're going to make a decision that night or we're going to have a special meeting.
Correct.
We don't have a newsletter going out, do we?
We do.
We will,
It's
yeah.
hopefully going to print tomorrow afternoon.
I'm the holdup. I still got to write my
Is it too
section.
late to throw in well, not by next Monday, I guess.
Is there something in there about the open position in the newsletter?
Yes.
I'm
There is.
doing an edit of it in the morning, so I'll make sure that we have something in there.
It's not a lot of,
We just didn't know. We do have something, I think, generically put in there. We just didn't know how long you wanted to keep the application process open.
so it goes out this,
Ideally, we
end of
print
this week.
tomorrow and
Saturday?
trying really hard to get it in the mail late Wednesday, early Thursday morning to hopefully get in Haymarket mailboxes Saturday.
You need,
not a lot of turnaround time, but it's something.
you need me to work in some time for folding and stapling?
All 4 individuals up there, yes, please.
Okay.
The same thing.
Well,
Come
we-
grab a bunch and then
We
bring
can
it.
also drop them off at your house.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
So what's the consensus on leaving it open for a period of time and having a special meeting versus doing something differently?
And if we look at a calendar, just talking dates real quick for a second. Next Monday, the 2nd, is our meeting. The following Monday, the office is closed for Indigenous People Columbus Day. So you would have the week of 10, 11, 12, 13 available for a meeting. And there's no conflict with ARB or Planning Commission. That next week is Planning Commission, ARB, and then right before Haymarket Day. And then
Remember,
the
this is a
youth and
load on our
government, you
staff.
will be, some staff and some council will be involved. But on October 23rd, which is a Monday night before your work session, 1 week before, we would be in here doing a youth and government project and a BZA meeting, so
That's right.
Yeah.
work
Now,
sessions.
now here's my thoughts.
It is, but we have to do.
We're going to reveal the candidates to the audience, the constituents, next week. If we voted that day, that leaves nothing, no time for feedback from our constituents over the time. So I would prefer to do a special meeting, probably out on the 23rd, just to see what your thoughts are on it.
I mean, how many folks did we have for your vacancy? Do you remember?
One.
One, that was it, yeah.
So I think the fact that we have 2 already is pretty remarkable, is my point. So it's not, not that you weren't a great candidate. I mean, it diminished that. I'm just saying, and I won't call it apathy, but our interest has been very limited. So the fact that we have 2 already is great. I don't see any harm in waiting for that, but maybe we still interview. So if we wait till the 23rd, we'd have to do closed session, interview all of them, come out of closed session, and make a decision.
Yeah.
I have no problem with interviewing on Monday night if the applicants can be there. We could do an early
The
closed
applicant-
session.
The applicants can be there. I've already
so-
checked with them.
So we can do that, and if somebody else pops up in the interim, and then on the 23rd, we can make our,
Could
Gentlemen in the audience, are you a prospective candidate?
I am.
Okay.
Are you available 6 p.m. on Monday?
And can we ask your name? I'm sorry.
Do I need to go there?
No, are you Mr. Gallagher? Or?
I am, yeah.
Okay, nice to meet you. Okay.
oh, I didn't know you.
Yep.
No, we've not met
okay.
before, sorry.
Since he didn't have a mic,
Marshawn's
that was
new to
Matt
Green
Gallagher
Hill.
who is running.
He lives in Green Hill.
Oh, okay.
You can.
I'm new to the
Yeah.
south side. I used to be the north side.
Okay,
Would 6 p.m. on Monday night work, just so we have ample time and we're not cutting things quick with our applicants?
I'm good.
The only thing I would
fine.
suggest is that we have prepared questions for both applicants.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, if we come out of those interviews Monday night, and we feel like we got a strong candidate, then let's go ahead and make the decision. So-
Okay, so we'll kind of play it by ear then. I don't kind of like that. I'd like an announcement though, so that constituents have a time to, react if they want.
Okay.
Okay, one other thing that needs to happen on this topic, we need to give a directive for the date on the writ.
We don't need a writ
We don't
any
need it.
longer.
We don't need a writ at all. We don't even have to submit it saying, yeah, we lost somebody, we're going to do it on regular election. We don't even have to say that.
Olin will take care of preparing a different statement to send over to the courts, and that will take care of it based on this email that Kim shared with the council earlier.
We don't need a writ of election.
Cool.
We're not going to have one.
Even better.
But you have
Probably
to-
makes it
but you have to go through a special
$500
election.
cheaper just on the lawyer's
But you
fee.
still have to go through one.
Yes,
Yes.
Mr.
November.
He's on
Vanis,
the ballot for
definitely-
November.
he is still on the ballot for November based on that time period of that position being vacant, the amount of
More than a
days
year.
prior to the general election.
Do you want to apply for this vacancy? That way you don't have to the election. I'm teasing.
Turn to my
Okay.
resignation tomorrow.
Let's not complicate it.
No,
I'm just teasing. It's welcome. You'll get the experience of the election. Interesting.
all right.
6 minutes.
Anything else?
You're done?
Yes.
I was going to say, we could follow Tennessee's rules, right? We'll impeach you and then special elect you back in.
Sure.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Anything else?
that's all that's on the list. Next
Motion to
agenda.
adjourn.
Second.
Sweet.
Point of order, did you get that information?
I believe it was Mr. Schneider and Mr. Vianney.
Okay,
Oh.
sounds good.
Oh, I thought it was
All in
passed.
favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
All right, you're gonna give me